Alright guys, so today we're going to be looking at an Alpha Clone Exploration Fit. This is the Heron. It's a pretty awesome ship for a rookie pilot or Alpha Clone pilot for that matter. I use it still. Right now I don't have Omega, so I have Alpha. But you can make quite a bit of money with this ship. This is a pretty good exploration ship. So anyway, you can get to this ship pretty much day one, which is awesome. Altogether, the cost to fit it is 2.3 million ISK. ISK is the currency in the game, if you didn't know. And then, if you go and buy this in Jeddah, the main trade hub in the game, you can probably get this all together said and done for about 3 million ISK, which is really cheap in the grand scheme of things. I mean, people, they deal in the hundreds of millions to billions easily. So this is a very cheap ship. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and jump into this fit here. So we have a core probe launcher. It just takes Astrometrics 1, Science 3. As you can see right here, I do have level 5 for Astrometrics, but I'm restricted to level 3 because I am Omega. But this probe launcher actually takes Astrometrics 1. So if you only need Astrometrics 1, I'm not entirely sure the time to train this, but it could be as low as 10 minutes, maybe an hour. But the level 1 and level 2s of most skills are super quick to train. So yeah, we'll have a probe launcher right here for scanning down those sites. We have a micro warp drive. Just use the best one you can use. There's a lot of different categories of them. You want a 5 MN micro warp drive. That's for speed, to get you around those sites quicker, because the pods are spread out by 30 to 60 kilometers, and you want to make up some time because you're definitely don't want to be wasting time just trolling to the next pod there. We have a relic analyzer standard. You have to use level 1, the relic analyzer tech 1, because you're alpha, but it works fine. And then you have data, so we're going to go after data and relic. You're going to want to grab a cargo scanner, because there is definitely some pods that you don't really want to waste your time with. So what I do is I lock all the pods up, and then I scan them with my cargo scanner. And if they don't have enough ISK value in there, I don't even bother. I just move on to the next can. We have range finding array here. So this thing's pretty cool. You will have to train your astrometric range finding to level 2. You have to train your science to level 3, but you should already have your science to level 3, because I'm pretty sure the probe launcher requires that. So hey, 2 for 1, right? But this is pretty cool, because if you go to the attributes, it will up your scan bonus by 5%, your scan strength. So what that means is when you're out there scanning for these sites, it's going to make it so much easier to actually pinpoint the exact location so that you can warp to it by having this extra 5% bonus. It's worth it. Okay, so now in your low slots, we have these Type D restrained nanostructures. Super easy to train for, just level 1 skills. There's no excuse not to get this. What it does is it brings your inertia down by 14.5%. For each one, by the way. Okay, there is a penalty for using modules of the same type, so you do get diminishing returns, but it's still enough of a return to justify it in my mind. As well, with the inertia modifier, you get the velocity modifier. Now, what this velocity modifier does is this is going to make you traverse through space faster. 8.5% adds up. So let's look at the returns that these Type D restrained nanofiber structures do. So you've got your micro warp drive active. With those things added, we have almost 3,000 meters per second, which is nuts. That's super quick. So say let's turn one of these off. So now it brings you down to 2779. So if we take another one off, we're down to 2562. Now, if 2 of those gives you almost another 450, let's just say 400 for the sake of arguing, meters per second, that 400 meters per second over time is definitely going to save you time. I know a lot of people, instead of these restrained nanofiber structures, they'll put inertial stabilizers, which sure, that is pretty good, but it doesn't give you that velocity bonus. It just gives you the inertia modifier, which is slightly better. It's 2.25% better, but with that velocity modifier, I think it's a win. It's a no-brainer for sure to just go ahead and use those nanofiber structures. So let's look at the rigs here. We have two of the same rigs. The small gravity capacitor upgrade level 1. It is diminishing return since we are using two, but I go ahead and just use them because it's not that much of a diminish, at least in my mind. But you get a scan strength bonus of 10%, which is awesome. So with these scan strength bonuses from the rigs, with your alpha skills, with this awesome range finding array, you are going to be able to scan down some decent stuff. Obviously, if you're Omega, you're going to be able to scan stuff a little bit faster, because when you're able to train some of those skills up to the level 4 and level 5, you're able to knock down some of the time of the processing of the scanning probes. It's also can allow you to move faster because you will also have the micro warp drive skill at a higher skill. I believe it's like propulsion upgrades or something like that. So if you don't like the Heron, you can choose. You have some other options. The reason I chose it is for the amount of mid slots and low slots it has. Every single empire, all 4 empires, have their own specific alpha, clone, or Tech 1 level ship that you can do exploration with. I chose the Heron because I like the way it looks, and like I said, I like the amount of mid slots it has. It just works for me. I have a really good rate of return with it. It just works really well. So if you do not like the Heron and you don't want to go with the Caldari themed ships, you can go with the Amar ship. This is the Magnate. As you can see, it has less mid slots but more low slots. It does have the same exact bonuses, which is cool. So another thing to keep in mind is these bonuses, right? If you're flying the majority of Caldari ships or Amar ships, you may actually want one over the other, right? So for each level that you have in, say, the Amar frigate bonus, you get that. You get 7.5% per skill. You get 5% reduction in the salvage duration per skill. So if you have higher skills in Amar or Caldari, that might actually dictate which one you would like. If you like Galente style ships, you would go with the Imicus. It gives the same exact bonuses. Obviously, it's Galente frigate bonus instead. What's different about that is it only has 4 mid slots, 3 low slots, and same with the high slots, you get 3. There is super slight differences in the CPU and the power grid, ever so slightly on some of them, not all of them. As well as some of them will have drone bays. I don't know if the Heron has a drone bay. We will look. But when you're doing exploration with an alpha clone, you really don't need drones. The thing is, when you're out there, you are so fragile, you're not going to be able to fight anything off anyway. So there's really no point in even trying to defend yourself. You need to just run. So if you're Minmatar, you're going to want to go with the probe. The probe is cool. I think it's cool looking. It has 4 mids, 3 lows, just like the Galente Imicus. It has a drone bay. All these things, I think the majority of them do have drone bays. But like I said, it's pretty redundant and pointless to have drones. Yes, I have drones in here as well. So all of them have drones. I don't know what you would actually want to put for drones in there if you were going to run, because like I said, you're so fragile. You're EHP is literally 1279 on this one. Not gonna stand up to anything with some firepower. You're fast. That is where your strong suit is. You have to play to your strengths and weaknesses. So your strength is your speed. If you see something out there that it's not friendly, you need to just run. You need to keep local open. Watch your overview. If something pops in, you run immediately. So yeah, this is what I use for a fit for the Heron. It works, like I said, it works really well. Super cheap. So if I lose it, it is no big deal. I can make this money back within a half hour by scanning a site or two. I mean, you know, sometimes you get unlucky with some bad sites. Sometimes you get lucky. It's super cheap, and it's really easy way to make some ISK. Alrighty, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.